Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. So we recently covered the David case topic and looked at the things that he is going to be charged for, which is first-degree murder. But apparently an update today is saying that the autopsy has been revealed. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be reacting to David case autopsy results revealed. Prepare yourself if you don't like any kind of gore, or if you are sensitive to that type of thing. To be honest, I'm sensitive to that type of thing. Prepare your ears. I don't know what it is, but probably not good, man. Let's listen to these things, because I feel like when we listen to this, bro, and the public hears about this, hopefully there's more pressure for this guy to get the death penalty.
Now, the autopsy results in the David case, spelled D4VD, have finally been released, and with this information now out, we're getting a much clearer picture of what happened to 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. This is a report that up until now had not been made public. Authorities were holding back those details, while the medical examiner's office was pushing for its release. Now it's out not just to the public, but to the family as well. And from what we know, they're learning a lot of this information at the same time as the rest of the world. Before I continue, I do want to say this video contains details that may be difficult to hear. If you're sensitive to that or have children around, this might not be the video to watch right now. But I'm going to go through this report very carefully and stick to the facts.
You've gotten your warning, okay? You've gotten your warning. So if you want to leave, you're going to leave. If you want to stay, you can stay.
Very carefully and stick to the facts so you understand exactly what's been revealed, because this has been one of the biggest missing pieces in this case. Without these details, it's been difficult to fully understand what happened to Celeste.
Right.
Now, the cause and manner of death were determined back in December, and this is the first key point. The report states that Celeste died from multiple penetrating injuries caused by an object or objects, and the manner of death has been ruled as a homicide. Now, as for what that object or those objects were specifically, that hasn't been confirmed. As of now, there's no publicly identified murder weapon as far as we know. However, this is what we know. The report, which I was able to obtain, goes into specific detail. It states that Celeste had two separate penetrating wounds to her torso. The first was located on the upper right side of her abdomen, and according to the report, that wound penetrated her liver with an approximate depth of 1.5 inches.
That's right here, bro. That is close to your heart as well. That's very, very close. And then right here, that's like your intestines and stuff.
She also had a second penetrating wound, this time to the lower side of her chest, which was measured at around 2 inches in depth. Now, the report expands on what investigators found at the time of discovery. Her remains were located inside the front trunk, which was of course registered to the popular singer David, with her head and torso positioned in a body bag. During the examination, investigators noted that both of her arms were missing above the elbows, and both legs above the knees.
Crazy.
Now, underneath that first bag they found, there was also another bag. Inside that bag were what appeared to be her arms and legs, which the report says appeared to have been dismembered into several fragments. A lot of heavy details right here. At the same time, Celeste's body was in an advanced state of decomposition, with discoloration, insect activity, and partial skeletonization, with the report also noting that her left eye appeared to be absent. Investigators also noted that some parts, including fingers, were not recovered at the scene, and that she had a tattoo that read, "shh," like "shh, quiet," on the side of...
Nah, bro. There's no way that they put that tattoo on after doing all that. Like, this is one of the most disgusting cases that I have ever heard in my entire life, bro. Again, if you're feeling uncomfortable, I think these pauses are nice to kind of, you know what I'm saying, breathe a little bit, take a little break. But dude, this is disgusting. And the fact that there's a few missing fingers, to me, that shows that they were in a hurry, or there's like it was sloppy. You know, it's like, oh, hurry up, you know what I mean? There's some frantic behavior around that. I am also interested to know whether he was the one who was chopping her up, or if he had people help him do that, because that's not easy to do. You know what I'm saying? And you have to have something very sharp, like very sharp, to do something like that. Hopefully we get more details when it comes to that.
By it on the side of her right index finger, which, as some of you guys might remember from a lot of the early reports when the story first broke, appears similar to a tattoo seen on David in a photo. And I'll put that image on the screen right now for reference.
It's definitely... Ooh. Man, this shit is dark. Man, this is dark. They probably got matching tattoos, and the shush is probably to keep their situation on the down low. That's why they have matching tattoos, bro. This shit is dark.
To my right side right here.
Nigga.
The report also details what Celeste was wearing at the time. A tube top, underwear, black leggings, and black socks. It also notes that the tube top had multiple holes in both the front and the back. The autopsy then goes into the toxicology results. According to the report, toxicology performed on liver tissue showed a low level of ethanol, basically alcohol. However, it did not appear to have contributed to her death. Investigators also noted that it's unclear whether that alcohol was from ingestion or the result of post-mortem changes, which are basically changes that can occur in the body after death. Now, as far as the toxicology, the report mentions a few other substances as well. Most notably, Celeste Rivas tested positive for benzodiazepines, methamphetamine, and MDMA. However, and this is very important, those results were listed as presumptively positive, which means they showed up in initial testing, but would still need further testing before anything could be confirmed. The autopsy report also provides some insight into the evidence collected. Investigators stated that they swabbed the handles and zippers of the bag containing Celeste's head and torso. While the report doesn't specify the outcome, this type of testing is typically used to identify things like DNA or fingerprints. The bag itself was also described in detail, with 3 handles on each side, along with additional handles at the top and bottom. Investigators also noted the presence of small blue plastic pieces at the cut sites on her arms and legs. All those findings are now part of the evidence in this case moving forward. Now, one of the more recent updates from 2 days ago, which I covered, investigators allege that on or about April 23, 2025, David invited Celeste to his home in the Hollywood Hills area. She arrived, and according to investigators, this was the last time she was known to be alive, and those developments came after the first-degree murder charge David is currently facing. And in response to those charges, his legal team stated, "Let us be clear. The actual evidence in this case will show that David Burke did not murder Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and he was not the cause of her death." David has since then appeared in court and entered a plea of not guilty.
David Burke, also known as the musician David, dressed in a black sweatshirt, stood behind a glass partition as his attorney entered his plea of not guilty.
We believe the actual evidence will show David Burke did not murder Celeste.
David is scheduled to return to court today, actually, on Thursday, in downtown Los Angeles. His legal team has been pushing to move things forward quickly, with a probable cause hearing expected to address the evidence against him. So this would give more insight into what investigators are working with in terms of the evidence they say they have against him. Over the next couple of days, we're going to learn a lot more about where this case stands, especially now that the autopsy findings are out, which of course will be tied into the broader investigation. And of course, I'll keep you guys updated with any new verified details as they come.
That's good to know. Something I found very interesting that this lawyer is saying is that the case will show that David Burke did not murder Celeste and he was not the cause of her death. Lawyers word things very meticulously. Okay. There's a reason why they word things the way they do. So now I'm starting to wonder, along with the question that I asked earlier, of how Was he able to do that? Did he have somebody helping him do that? I think it's not too crazy to think that he potentially did, and that there are other people that should be charged alongside with him, that should be put on that electric chair alongside with him, potentially, right? We don't know yet. We're speculating here, but I don't think it's too far-fetched that he had some kind of connection, somebody to help him do this. I don't know if he did this all by himself. He could have, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about the situation, man. Every single detail that we hear, every time that we get an update, it disgusts me more and more, and I'm just like, bro, can we just get this guy up out of here? You know what I'm saying? Can we get this monster just up out of here entirely, bro? I really hope that nobody is a fan of this guy. Okay, when it comes to musicians, it's like those guys can do no wrong. Genuinely, it's literally like they can't do any wrong. They come up with a banger song and everybody forgets what the hell they did. I really hope that's not the case with this situation, and that if you are a fan of his, if you love his music, you can look at this, you can genuinely look at this objectively and listen to the details here and be absolutely disgusted by the things that you're hearing, man. Again, let me know what you guys think about this situation in the comments below. I need to watch something that gets my mood up. I am sorry if I brought your mood down. Ooh. Go check out one of these two videos. Hopefully it's more lighthearted. Leave a like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.